Shalom Aleichem Rabbi. Now it is a week before Tisha B'Av. On Tisha B'Av is the saddest day of the Jewish year. The 9th day of Av is coming up next week, Monday night. That means Tuesday, the 9th day of Av. This is absolutely the saddest day of the Jewish year, the blackest day. When the base of Megillas was destroyed, 1.1 million Jews killed, and the collapse of the Jewish state, the government of Israel, the government of Israel was destroyed. The downfall of the Second Commonwealth, that was in 38. Many thousands of years, well, not many, 1940 years ago. Because according to the secular calendar, the solar calendar, it was in the year 70. And 1970 was 1900 years. And that was 40 years ago. So it's 1940 or 41 years ago. Some say it was the year 68, not 70, Common Era. We don't use the words BC and AD. We use BCE, before the Common Era, and CE, the Common Era. And that was 1900, and going to be next week, 1941 years ago. Almost 2,000 years since the destruction of the Second Jewish Commonwealth. What happened to bring down the Jewish state and 1.1 million people killed? Look at the Gemara, Bar Kamsa, Gittin Nun Hey. They tell you all about it. Let us talk about this Tisha B'Av, which is 9/11. Tisha, the 9th day in 11th month. Av is the 11th month, isn't it? 9/11. We got to turn this off. This is no good. So we turn this off for a while. Good. So 9/11 is Tisha B'Av, right? 9 Tisha B'Av, 11th month. 12th month is Elul. First month is Tishrei. 9/11 was Tisha B'Av. Well, the world had 9/11 10 years ago. We have it every year for the last 1941 years. We have 9/11. Isn't that interesting that 9/11, the first base of Megillas was destroyed? Even before that, when the Meraglim came back from Eretz Yisrael and spoke Lashon Hara, they cried that night, the 9th of Av. That was 9/11. A tragedy happened. So Hashem said to Moshe, tell the people, you cry for nothing because you think you can't defeat giants. I'll give you something to cry about. 898 years later was the first base of Megillas, destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian. And 490 years after that was destroyed by Titus, Edom, Esau, Amalek, the same thing, same person, same family. So how do you know it's 490 years later? Because the first base of Megillas was destroyed in 70 years, Galus Bavel, in between, and the second one stood 420. Well, 420 and 70 is 490. 490 years. Then came Gorash Sfora, the Inquisition, where Jews were thrown out of Spain and Portugal. 1492 Tisha B'Av, 9/11. Then came Kristallnacht, 9/11, 11/9. 9th of November, 11/9. And came the First World War before that, 1914 was on Tisha B'Av. Both world wars started on Tisha B'Av. That means the second one didn't start on Tisha B'Av, it started near Rosh Hashanah. But the second one was because of the first one. Because Germany was angry, they had to pay all the reparations for losing the First World War. And this corporal called Adolf Hitler became a big shot and chancellor, and he wanted to make Germany again a world dominion. So eventually, after 1945 April, we had to blow his brains out because he lost. And that was First World War. Means both world wars started because of the First World War, and 9/11, 1914. That was over 1918. 20 years later, 1938 was Kristallnacht, 11/9. A year later, 10 months later, was the invaded Poland, 1939. So that's when the destruction of Europe happened, the Churban Europa. So now we know about 9/11. Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av is going to be a Yontif. That's why Moed is mentioned 4 times in Megillas Eichah. Why Moed 4 times? Because we have 3 Yom Tovim already, Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuos. This will be the 4th. Moed 4 times. That's why Moed is mentioned right in the beginning 4 times, because it's going to be a Yontif. 4 times Moed is mentioned. Tisha B'Av will be the 4th Yontif. And we call this month Menachem Av, comforting of Av. What's comforting? You're getting burned down. Should be Menachem Av after Tisha B'Av. So big tzaddikim, when they write letters until the 9th of Av, they write Aleph B'Av and Beis B'Av, Gimel B'Av, 9th Av. On the 10th they write 10th of Menachem Av, because after you hit the bottom, there's no place up to go except up. So that's the Nechama. That's why Mashiach is called Menachem and Shiloh and a bunch of other names, 7 names. So on Tisha B'Av, can't get any worse. We don't need a Yom HaShoah. We have Tisha B'Av. All tzaras comes from that day. And Yom Yerushalayim, there's no such thing. We're going to have Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, Yerushalayim, Ir Barachamim Toshu. A city without gay pride parade, you understand? A different kind of Yerushalayim. Not a city of Western culture and democracy, but of Torah culture. Democracy is a fabulous thing for Goyim, because a Torah government cannot allow free press or free speech, and a number of other things. I know it's very disturbing to people who listen to me, because if you understand Jewish culture, Lashon Hara is forbidden to say or print. It's destructive to people. It ruins them. It's like murder. Democracy is wonderful for secular people, not for Torah Jews, not for the authentic Jewish people. And when Mashiach comes, all Goyim will accept that. They will be on a very high madrega, all Goyim. And Yisrael will be on a higher madrega. And Yerushalayim will be as big as Eretz Yisrael. And Eretz Yisrael will be as big until you get to the Euphrates River. Nahar Hagadol, Nahar Paros, says on last week's Parsha. Euphrates is about 380 miles from Yerushalayim, 420 miles from the Mediterranean. It's not going to be a country 55 miles wide, it'll be 400 miles wide. It says, Hagadol, Har Paros, the river that separates Iraq from Iran, that's bubble, both of them together. And all the way up there, all of Lebanon, a lot of Syria, almost up to Turkey, to the end of the Mediterranean Sea, north. That's double the coastline it has today, maybe triple. All the way down to Nachal Mitzrayim, Wadi El Arish, not Nahar Mitzrayim, that's the Nile. Nachal, to the Wadi El Arish, near the Nile Delta. That's maybe triple what we have now, and 10 times the width. 10 times and 3, 30 times bigger than it is. So there'll be plenty of room for the millions of Jews. Interesting, isn't it? Different kind of government, different kind of land, different kind of Kedusha. We're waiting for that right now. And Mashiach is born on Tisha B'Av. Will he come on Tisha B'Av? Could be. Some say on Pesach night, in Nisan. Nigalu, Nisan Asid Ligal. But he could come on Av too. Menachem, that's his name, one of the names of Mashiach. Like Moshe Rabbeinu came to Mitzrayim and he let himself be known amongst the tzaddikim, but the Hamon, the Am, didn't know about it until months later. Maybe Mashiach came already and the Yechidim know about it and they don't talk about it. Those who talk don't know, and those who know never talk. You know in Yiddish, die was weissen sagen nicht. Die was sagen weissen nicht. Those who talk about it never don't know what they're talking about. And those who never say a word, they know exactly what's going on. So let us talk a little bit about Eichah. It's called Sefer Kinos, the Book of Lamentations. Not only will Tisha B'Av be a Yontif, all the 4 fast days, including Tisha B'Av, will be holidays. The fast of the Navi says the fast in the 4th month, 5th month, 7th month, and 10th month. The 4th month is Shivas B'Tammuz, The 5th month is Tisha B'Av. The 7th month is the day after Rosh Hashanah, Tzom Gedalia. And the 10th month is a sort of a Teves. Those 4, Tisha B'Av included, they will be Yom Tovim. Because they all have to do with Beis HaMikdash. Eretz Yisrael. Shivas B'Tammuz, Tisha B'Av, Tzom Gedalia. It's all about the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash, the country, and the sort of a Teves. The other 2, Yom Kippur is Yom Tov, and Tanis Esther has nothing to do with Churban Beis HaMikdash. That's something to do with in Persia, when Jews lived in 127 lands, and in Persia. So out of the 6 fast day, 1 is the Yom Tov, Yom Kippur, Yom Tov. You say good Yom Tov, don't you? And the Tanis Esther, nothing bad ever happened. Could have happened, but nothing bad happened. But the other 4 terrible things happened. So I told you many times, you know this on Torah anytime, and if you listen to Kol Haloshim, my father used to say the 6 fast days are remembered by the mnemonic device, a remez: black, white, man, woman, long, short. Black, white, man, woman, long, short. Black, Tisha B'Av. Everything is black and dark, even turn down the lights. White, everything is white, Yom Kippur. You wear a kittel, the white talis and everything. A man, that's Tzom Gedalia is the name of a man. A woman, that's Esther, Tanis Esther. And long, that's the longest daytime fast was 2 weeks ago. Shivas B'Tammuz, 15 hours, the longest daytime fast. And short was the shortest daytime fast. That's sort of the Teves. That's very few, 8 or 9 hours a day. Sunrise to sunset is very close. So we have 4 fast days have to do with Beis HaMikdash. 1 is the Yom Tov, and 1 is nothing to do with it. That's Persia. So these Tisha B'Av and the other 3 will turn into Yom Tov. And I told you about 9/11. You know that Tisha B'Av, Megillas Eichah, called Kino, it has 155 Pesukim altogether. Kuf Nun Hey is Kino. That's why it's called Sefer Kinos, the book of Kino, Lamentation. How does it have 155? Because every chapter has 22 Pesukim, because they violated the Torah written with 22 letters. Aleph, the first one starts with an Aleph, Eichah, and the second one starts with a Beis, and the third pasuk with a Gimel, etc. 22 Pesukim. The second one has 22 Pesukim. The 4th one has 22 Pesukim. The 5th one has 22 Pesukim. And the middle one, 3, has 3 times 22 Pesukim. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 22. It's 152. Because they broke the Torah written with 22 letters. So Yirmiyahu Navi wrote the Megillas Eichah 18 years before the Churban, and the king Yehoiakim, wicked Jewish king, didn't like the fact that Yirmiyahu, this young 20-year-old, said that the state will be destroyed. Millions of people killed, Beis HaMikdash destroyed, everything destroyed, will be thrown out, no people left in the country. He didn't believe it, couldn't believe it. God will not allow his temple to be destroyed. Oh no? It happened 18 years later. And Yehoiakim didn't like Yirmiyahu, so he threw him in jail. And a man came by and pulled him out. Well, it starts earlier than that. 18 years before, when he showed Yehoiakim the Megillah, he read the Megillah and he saw that the state will be destroyed. He tore out God's name from everyone, wherever it says there in the Megillah, threw him in the fire. It's the Isser D'Oraisa called Mechikas Hashem. You cannot allow to destroy God's name. And he threw the Megillah in the fire. And he was Mavazah the Navi. And he threw him in a pit. Then he thought it over. Maybe I should take out the Navi from a pit. And a man took him out. What was his name? He took him out. He was called Baruch ben Noroya. Ben Noroya. Baruch ben Noroya. Baruch ben Noroya. But he had another name. Oved Melech Hakushi. Oved Melech, he served the king. Hakushi, the black man. He was no black man. Oved Melech, he served God completely, total tzaddik. Hakushi, he was so unique in Sitkas and Talmud Chacham, like a black man standing in front of a white man. That's why Moshe's wife, who was born in Midian, not in Cush. Midian is Saudi Arabia, that's where Yisro lived. That's not Africa, Kushi. She was called Hakushis, Isha Kushis Lakach. She was a black woman. She was the most beautiful woman in the world, next to Chava, Sarah, and her, Zipporah. That was his wife's name. And she was so beautiful, as if a black woman would stand in front of a white woman. That's how she was noticeable. She's Isha Kushis Lakach, but there's no Kushis. Shaul HaMelech is called a Kushi because he never did a sin in his life. Like a person stands out if he doesn't know sins, except one sin at the end. So he's called Shaul's called Kush. And this man who saved Yirmiyahu was called Obi Melech. He served God, total tzaddik, Hakushi, big tzaddik. He pulled him out, and his name was Baruch ben Araya. And he wrote. Hashem told him to write the Megillah again. The first time it only had 3 chapters. Then Hashem told him to write it again. It had 5 chapters. And look at the Megillah. Every chapter starts with, it has 22 pesukim. It starts with the Aleph in order. Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dal, Hey. You get the Gimel. It says 3 times Aleph. Aleph, 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 Beis, 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 Gimel, Gimel, Gimel. And then that was number 3. 4 is again 22 pesukim of Aleph, Beis, Gimel. And 5 has 22 pesukim, but not in order. Not in order. Now I want to tell you a chiddush about the last one. That has to do with the Holocaust. Where do you see that? I have a chiddush. Many years ago, I thought it up myself. I told it to a big Rosh Yeshiva. He says, you got to be mafaris from that. You must popularize that. He thought it was emes. Look what it says in the 5th chapter of Eichah. It had 22 pesukim, but not in order. It's called Zechar Hashem V'Hayilanim. Look at God, what happened. Ma Hayilanim, what happened to us at the end of time. Habita, look. The word Habita is missing a hey. Or a is careful saying to see our disgrace. And it goes through it, and then another part says, Yisomim Hayinu, we were orphans, Ve'ein Av, and we don't have a father. And the Vav is left out, but we read it, Ve'ein. And then it says, Al Savarenu on our next, near Dofnu they chased us, Yoganu they pursued us, V'lo Hunach Lanu, and we didn't give in to them. But the Vav is left out. And then it said, Abasenu Chatu, our forefathers sinned. Ve'enam, they're not here anymore, but you left the Vav out. Va'anachnu, but there's no Vav. We read it, Va'anachnu. If you take these words and take the gematria, the way they're written, with the missing letters, you're going to come out to 698. 5,698. That was 1938. Figure it out. 5698 it was 1938, the beginning of the Holocaust, which means 1938-39, because we have Rosh Hashanah in September, they have in December. So it's 1939, where Hitler invaded Poland. Beginning of World War II was in 1939. 10 months before, he burnt down all the shuls. It's called Crystal Nacht. It happened to be also November 8th. Yeah, Crystal Nacht was November 8th. November 8th, 9/11. And that year, 5698, was 1938. Zechar, remember Hashem, what happened to us. And if you take the letters of 5698, it's Tov Reish Tzadi Ches. You leave out the Hey, 5,000. Tov Reish Tzadi Ches. You know what Tov Reish Tzadi Ches spells? Tirtzach, slaughter. And if you take the letters that are left out, the Hey, the missing Hey, the Vav, the Vav, the Vav, the Vav, and the Hey, 6 missing letters, 2 Heys and 4 Vavs, you get 34. 3 and 4 is 7. They only destroyed us from this world. 7 is this world. You know, 8 is the future world. Hitler never killed one neshama. He killed bodies. The neshama goes to Gan Eden. Every Jew that was killed in the Holocaust, religious or not, was killed because he was a born Jew. Because he was a Yid, he died like Kiddush Hashem, Mekadosh Hashem's name. Not because they were thieves and gangsters and crooks. Only because they were born Jewish. They had a misam shuna, a strange, horrible, wicked death. Shooting, killing, beating, burning in fire, gassing. Because you die a misam shuna, and you die only because you're a Jew, you go to Gan Eden, you're called Kedoshim. 6 million Kedoshim. They only killed them from this world, 7. They're missing 2 Heys and there's 4 Vavs. 4 Vavs is 4 times 6 is 24. And 2 Heys is 10, is 34. 3 and 4 is 7. Hitler only killed bodies in this world. They asked the Chaim ones, what's worse, the black shirts or the red shirts? Chaim died in 33. They said, what's worse, the red shirts, the communists, or the SS in the beginning where the Nazis wore black shirts? He says the red is much worse than the black. The black only kill your body, you die as a Jew. But the red don't want to kill your body, they want you to live as a guy, to be an atheist, a communist. Much worse to live as a goy than to die as a yid. The goy design the erga, the red or worse. They want to convert you into an atheist. Better to die as a yid than to live as a goy. So that's the chiddush on the 5th chapter, called the Kar Hashem Ahayilonu, and there you'll see prediction of the Holocaust. At the end of chapter 5, there's the last one word, ben shuvo, without a hay. You have to add all those 2 hays missing and the 4 vovs, you get that what I told you. Alright, let's go back to the beginning of Eichah, Megillas Eichah, that Yirmiyahu wrote when he was 20 years old, and he lived 90 years. The Golus bubble was 70 years. When they built the second base Mikdash, he was around. He was 90. I don't know how long he lived. It was only 4 Leviim. There were no Leviim in the second base, except in the beginning there were 4. Chaim Malachi, Daniel Mechaya. Who were the 3? And Yirmiyahu. Yirmiyahu, Chaim, Malachi. Who was the other 4 there? There was beginning of the second base of Mikdash was Haman, Yirmiyahu, Chaim, Malachi, and there were 4 of them together. Let's take a look here. On Tisha B'Av, you can't learn Torah. You can't do business until 1 o'clock, midday. You can't do any business, usher to do any business until Chatzos on the 9th of Av. You can't eat meat, take a shower, and get married till 1 o'clock on the next day, 10th of Av. Because the main burning was on the 10th. They burnt it down on the 9th at night, and it burned all the 9th, half of the 9th, a little bit of night, the afternoon, and all of the 10th. So you cannot shave, take a haircut, nothing, get married, buy new clothes, or buy a house, or do anything, or paint your house until Chatzos on the 10th. Because most of it burned down on the 10th. So a minute after Chatzos, you say a Ruba Kukula, 51% is like the whole thing. Or you say Mixas Kukula, a little bit is like the whole thing. Isn't it true that a baby has a bris milah after 8 days of life? Not true. Almost no baby in the world ever got a bris milah after 8 days. You know that? I went to a bris today. The child was 6 days old in a couple minutes. It was born on Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, Wednesday. It was born in 1 minute before. It was born on Monday. It was born on Tuesday in the evening, 1 minute before Shkia. And today you had a bris very early in the morning. Well, if you do it, if you figure it out, it's 6 whole days and a couple at 1 minute over there last week, and an hour here. It's 6 days and an hour. Most kids have a bar mitzvah, have a bris on 7 days. Have 8 days, it means it was born, let's say, 9 o'clock in the morning, and you wait till, let's say, a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbat, Sunday, Monday, you wait till Monday after 9, so that's really 8 full days in a minute. And that's no good. You have to have it on the 8th day, before the 9th. Most kids have a bris after 6 full days, maybe 7 days, but usually not 8. Not after 8, usually after 6. By mitzvah, you have to have 13 years in 1 day. You got to be completely finished 13 years before the child can daven for the Omen, or be most anybody in Mezuman, or daven for the Omen, or Chiyav and mitzvahs. Got to be 13 days total finished. The moment he's Chiyav and mitzvahs, he's in the 14th year. It means he's finished 13. When you're 20 years old, you're in the 21st year. When you're 50 years old, you're in the 51st year. When you're 1 year old, you're in the 2nd year, right? So Mixas Hayom Kekula. On the 10th day of Av, gotta wait till Rugel. 50, sometimes it's Mixas Hayom, a little bit in the morning, like a Shiva. You sit Shiva, you only sit 6 days, and a little bit of the 7th. Mixas Hayom Kekula. That's a minute, because Shiva is more than 1 day is the Rabbanan, and the Raisi, you gotta wait 51%. Tisha B'Av is Rabbanan. I know, but it's the severest Rabbanan. You wait till 12 or 1 o'clock nowadays, 1 or 1, whenever midday is. Most things you have to wait, mixes ayom kekula, a little bit of the next day makes it like a shiva. You sit 6 days and a little bit of the 7th. Here, Tisha B'Av is so severe, it's, you wait till the midday of the 10th before you go to swimming or do anything like that. Ovei Melech HaKushi, that's him. B'shuna b'maisim, he was such a big tzaddik, that's why he's real Ovei HaMelech, he served God. Now let's learn the Megillah. Eichah Yoshva Bodot. How does she sit alone? Means Yerushalayim. Ha'ir Rabbos Yom, the city with a lot of people in it. Why don't you say Rabbas? Why Rabbosi? Hashem said, made that the central trading city of the Middle East. You saw Rabbosi many people. You saw Kalmana, she was like a widow, not a real widow because she didn't lose her husband. Rabbosi, why did I say Rabbas? It used to be a big metropolis. I made her small. Rabbosi Bagoim, she was famous amongst the nation. Sorossi, my prince, God said, my prince. Bamedimus, amongst the countries. You saw the mass, now she has to pay tax to invaders. Second pasuk, start to the base. You have to cry at night. Why twice? For the first bites and the second bites happened the same day, 9/11. Dimosa al yecha, her tears are on her cheeks. Ein lo menachem, she has no comforter. Mashiach didn't come yet because his name is Menachem. She has no comforter from all her friends. Kol re'eho, all her so-called friends, Bogdubo, rejected her. They became her enemies. Let's take a look at this word. Eichah. Eichah, how is it? Eichah, how is it? You know, this week we're going to lay Eichah, on Monday night. It's very interesting. This week, starting with Shabbos, there's going to be 3 things we lay that start with, and they have the word Eichah in it. Devarim. Eichah Esel Avadi, right in the beginning of Devarim, Moshe says, how can I carry you alone? You're too much trouble, too difficult. And this Shabbos Haftorah, in the middle of the Haftorah, Yeshaya says, in Haftorah of Chazon, Yeshaya, because this Shabbos is Shabbos Chazon, he says, Eicha Hayusal Zono. How did she become like a prostitute, unfaithful to her husband, unfaithful to me, Hashem? So the Devarim, which always comes out to Shabbos before Tisha B'Av, and if it doesn't, the calendar maker is wrong, because everything that happens in the world has to do with the Parsha of the week, by the way. Even 9/11, 2001, happened to do with the Parsha of the week, you know that? You know that 2001, when the Twin Towers were knocked down, that when there was in the Parsha of Kisavo, and the date was a Tuesday, 9/11. It was September 11, 2001. You know that day in Hebrew was Chav Gimel Elul Tavshin Samach Aleph, 23rd day of Elul Tavshin Samach Aleph, 5761. That's 10 years ago. Now it's 70, 5770. You know, if you add up Chav Gimel 23 Elul 67 and Tavshin Samach Aleph 7 Tavshin 7 61. You add it up, you get 851. You know that Haftorah of that week? That Haftorah of that week talks about Mashiach, the last 2 words. Be'ito Achishen, I'm going to bring Mashiach very quick, take you by surprise. Be'ito Achishen was exactly 851. All of a sudden, Twin Towers, the biggest towers in the world, came crushing down. Not by invading army, by our own planes, by a couple terrorists. That's it. And the Third World War against humanity was declared by the Muslims against Christians and Jews. Beginning of the Third World War. That was every country in the world today. Every country in the world is controlled by them and fear them, and they're the controlling power. It says in Obadiah that at the end of time, after Edom tries to destroy Klal Yisrael, Edom, that became the Christians. After the second Beis Hamikdash, the Romans turned into Christians. They tried to wipe us out in the Middle Ages like you have no idea. Terrorists, they were terrorists. They held the sword in front of your face. They held it by the blade, and the handle made a cross. They stuck it in your face. They said to you, either you convert or we kill you. That's terrorism. In hoc signa vinces. We will conquer you with this sign. Either convert or we kill you. That's not terrorism. So now you have a different terrorism by Schwab. It says in the first part of Avadia that the end of time, the unholy Roman Emperor will fail. A member of Amalek will fail. That's Hitler. And then will come Yishmael, and Edom will destroy Yishmael. Edom is the Christians. What's the most powerful Christian country? The United States. They have to go to war with Yishmael. The big, most powerful, organized Muslim country in the world is Iran. The Navi said so. It must be. There's an expression in Israel. If America goes to war against Iran, they said, don't worry, America, but Israel's behind you. We'll protect you. It has to be. Edom will destroy Yishmael. And then Edom will be destroyed, because we're not going to forget anything. We have one Parsha during the year called Shabbos Chazon. Not Shabbos Chazon, Shabbos Zochar. Parsha Zochar. Remember, forget nothing. We forget zero. Every bill will be paid. Everybody will get their reward or punishment. Otherwise, the system doesn't make any sense, because then you can get away with murder. Nobody gets away with anything. Sooner or later, you get it. Either reward or punishment. Eichah. If you take the letters of Eichah, you see why God allowed the second base of Mikdash, first base of Mikdash to be destroyed, and the second one. Aleph, Yud, Chav, Hey. Aleph, they denied God, the one. Yud, they broke his Aseret Dibros. Chav, they violated the laws of morality. Why morality? Because Abraham Avinu had a bris, and he was the 20th generation. Chav, 20. Adam, Noah, Abraham, 20 generations. And he had a bris at 99 on the 20th generation, and bris means you are controlled in the world of morality. They broke Aleph, they didn't believe in God, they did Avodah Zarah. Yud, they didn't keep the Aseret Dibros. Chav, they were immoral into marriage, that means Chav. And Hey, they didn't keep Chamisha Chumash Torah, didn't learn Torah. Also, Eichah is 36. Aleph, Yud, 1 and 10 is 11, and 20 is 31, and 5 is 36. Lamed above Krisos, saying the 36 things you get credits for. They violated that. And Eichah means Yoshva Bodod. Look how she sits alone. Used to be Eichah. Look how it. Eichah. Look Eichah. How is it Yoshva that she sits alone? How is it? She used to be much popular world metropolis. All the traders came there. Bodod, alone. Now, Bodod means lonely. Is that really a bad word? Doesn't it say last week's Parsha that Yisrael will be so successful amongst nations? Am levadod yishkom, it will live alone. And there it's a bracha. And here Bodod is a curse. Yoshva, she sat, Bodod alone. She sat, but she'll be having, the Mashiach will come, it'll be back to the way it used to be. Yoshva, she sat alone after the Churban. So Bodod is a bad thing. Bodod is Gematria 10, not even 10 people there. Beis Dalet Dalet, not even a minyan. Lonely, if you have 10 people, you have a minyan, you can daven B'tzibur, read the Torah, everything. But if you're alone, you can't daven B'tzibur. Bodod means no people. So I thought Bodod is a good thing. Doesn't say last week Pasha thing Matos must say Am levadod yishkom, a nation that dwells alone, independent, powerful, mighty, doesn't need anybody. So why is Bodod here bad? On both sides there's a very big difference between Bodod and levadod. We used to be secure, levadad, alone. We didn't need anybody. We had all the food, everything. We didn't need anybody. The fruit was so enormous, developed. Everybody bought our fruits. You ever go into a store and buy organic? You raise chickens and carrots and potatoes. Oh, look how it tastes. Look at the size. Of course you pay more. You're getting more. When you buy high-test gas, you go more miles per gallon too, don't you? So it's not really more expensive. So levadad means we don't need anybody. We're totally secure. Bodod, lonely, is very different than alone. Alone is powerful. Lonely is very bad. 40 years before the Churban, Yirmiyahu was hammering away at the people. 18 years before he gave Yehoiakim the Megillas Eichah, he threw it in the fire. Hashem said, okay, that Megillah had only 3 chapters. Now write it again. Put 2 more chapters in. It was chapter 1, 2, and 3. Now put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because he threw away Megillah that had 3 paragraphs, each with 22 sukkim, 66, he says, each chapter had 1 times 22. Write a new chapter which will be Parsha number 3, that has 3 times 22. My goodness. There's 6 22s there. Because the first one has 22, the second one has 22, that's twice 22, the third one has 3 and 2 is 5, the fourth one is that, and the fifth one has 22 but not in order. So there's 5 chapters, but 3 times 22. 3 times olive base. The last one has 22, but not in order of olive base. Why does it have to be in order? Because one sin leads to the next. Olive comes before base. Gay comes before gimel. You didn't do all the 37 creases at once. Little by little, you break away. Eventually, you become a defector. You think Reform religion started by what they finally ended up with 100 years after they started? They started with Mendelssohn's fake doubts in Judaism. So his children took it a little further. Mendelssohn's children converted completely. They said, Dad went half the way, we're going full. One converted, one committed suicide, one went insane. Nice family, huh? And then it got worse and worse and worse. By 1850, that was 1775, 1850 already had shuls praying on Sunday. Shuls. Temples praying on Sunday. They called it temples, not a synagogue. Because the temple had an organ, why can't we have an organ? I know, in the base of Mikdash, right, but you don't keep the Torah, you don't have to have anything. So they became liberal Juden, free Jews, liberal-minded, free of the restrictions, means minus Torah. Let's do away with the oral law, they said, bris milah, mikvah, Shabbos, kashrus, everything away. That was 1850, 1933. You wonder why it happened. It started, the cancer started in Berlin. Mendelssohn. That's where Hitler's headquarters were, Berlin. Not in some other place. Interesting, isn't it? Midah keneged midah. Everything is measure for measure. You're thinking about it. Eichah. Hashem said to Adam Arishan, he did a chet, he ate the fruit from Eis Hadas, and he felt very, very ashamed. He said, we're naked, we have to have clothes on. How come you didn't feel naked before? Because when you don't do a chet, there's no poison in your system, you don't see a stira, a contradiction between the physical body and the spiritual body. There's no contradiction. Once you did a chet, you have a guilty conscience, you start feeling, we're ashamed. He says, Hashem came to Adam and said, Ayekol, where are you? Aleph Yud Chav Hey, the same thing. A guy doesn't know where he is. He's trying to give Adam a chance to, catch himself and give an answer. Give him a chance to retort. Eicha, woe are you have no answer. Because you spent the last 40 years, Yirmiyahu, giving them Musar. And 18 years before he wrote a Megillah, and Yochim threw it in the fire. Eicha. Look at you. Ayeka, where are you, Jewish people? He told Adam, Ayeka, where are you? He said, what do you mean? I'm here. I know all about it. No. Did you do what I told you not to do? Yeah, she made me do it. Chava, why did you do it? And he made me do it, the Nachash. Come to the Nachash, didn't say why did you do it. Cursed are you. A maces, an informer, don't give a chance to defend himself. Because you see, drug dealers don't take drugs. They sell drugs. A masis is a person that doesn't do it because you to do it. He's the worst. Therefore he cut off his legs. And the Nachash, before he cut off his legs, looked like Adam Rishon. He was a biped. And he had a backbone. He stood up straight. He was a kordata. He wasn't a curly snake. He was a vertebrate. 2 legs, looked like Adam Rishon. Couldn't speak though, because only Adam Rishon could speak. Vayipach, into Adam Rishon says, Vayipach va'apav nishmas Chaim. He breathed into him the breath of life. That means the koich hadibor, to speak. Adam Rishon was the first man that had a neshama who could speak. So how could the Nachash tell Chava, you can eat from it? And he said, no. God said, if you touch it, you die. God didn't say that. She added to it. Once you add to something perfect, you ruin it. Kol hamosif goreya. He who adds destroys. Remember I told you yesterday, Noshim are women. Noshim are men, they're lower than women. Because women came from a creature that had a soul, and man came from the dirt. Mosayim is 200. Mosayim is 2. When you add, you break it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Other few like Shteos are 12. Ashteos is 11. When you add to something perfect, you ruin it. So she said, we're not supposed to touch the tree. God never said that. Oh, you ruined it. There, he pushed it. He says, look, you touched it, nothing happened. How can you speak if you don't have koach hadibur? Only Adam Rishon was the first human being. He was some. It says in the Torah, Nachash haya arum, is very wide, extremely bright. We call Chayis Asada wiser than all the Chayos, the creatures of the field. So he was a creature of the field. That was the cavemen who drew inside the caves pictures. They couldn't speak. They were savages, but they looked like human beings. The cavemen. They were 974 generations of them. 26 generations later, when the pre-world was 1,000 years old, he made Adam. That's why Hashem's name is 26. That's why Torah was given on the 26th generation. Adam, Noach 10, Noach, Abraham 10, 20. Then Adam, Noach, Abraham is 20. Yitzchak, Yaakov, Levi, Amram, Kohath, Moshe, 26. The Torah was given on 26th generation. He cut off this Nachash's legs. He's less than a bug. Flies have 4 legs. He's crawled on his belly, but he's very dangerous. He talked to Chav. He says, you can touch it. Oh, how do you talk if you can't talk? He motioned to her. He was a mime. He motioned to her. There's a mime, you can, body language, you don't need somebody to talk to. Body language is very good. The Rabbi said there was no Nachash at all. It was only her Yetzer Hara decided. Maybe it's good to eat it, because God said no. Whenever somebody says no, that's what you want, right? Rabbi said, but Levi Gershon said it was no Nachash. It was her evil intention. He created the Nachash. Because how could the Nachash speak if no one could speak before Adam Rishon spoke? Because koach hadibur comes from a vayipach va'apav nishmas Chaim. You breathe into him living life. That's koach hadibur. Anyhow, Eichah, where are you? Here it says, Eichah, how is it you sit alone? Here, Rabosi It was, I made it a very big famous city. Rabosi, I made it famous. Large population. You saw Kamon, and now she's like an Amona. Don't worry, the husband's coming back. It's called Mashiach. Rabosi, Vagoyim, used to be very big amongst the nation. I made it very big. So Rossi, I made it a prince. Bamadinas, amongst countries. Now she has to pay tax. You're going to cry at night for the first bites and the second bites. Or, in the time of the Meraglim, they came home and gave a bad report about Eretz Canaan. So you cried at night, didn't you, way back then? In the year 48 or 49, a year after they came out of Mitzrayim, and you said that there were giants there, we can't do it. They're Gadol Mimenu, bigger than we are. It really means not only Gadol Mimenu, the Meraglim men, Gadol Mimenu, bigger than him. Even God can't get rid of those giants. They discouraged the whole Jewish people. Everybody broke down in tears. You cried that night for nothing? I'll give you something to cry about. That happened to be the night of Tisha B'Av. 898 years later was, if you figure it out, when 2449 till the time Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. The first 30, it's about 898 years. And then 70 years Golden Bubble, and the second one stood 420, so 490 years after that, same day, Tisha B'Av. I told you all the 9/11s. Tisha B'Av is 9/11. Gor Asphora, Beitar, Kristallnacht, First World War, all came out on Tisha B'Av. And Edward threw out all the kings, Jews from Europe, from England, couldn't be there. And 1290 till, 1690, 400 years there were no Jews in England, you know that? And 1307, somebody threw Jews out of Spain. France. And 1492 was Spain. We've been moving around. Her tears are on her cheek. She has no comforter. Mashiach's name is Menachem. We call her all her so-called friends just don't know her anymore. They rebelled against her. Don't know her. They became your enemies. Gol saw Yehuda Meoni. Jews were driven out due to poverty. No, they were driven out because they didn't keep the Torah. That's called the poor man who doesn't keep the Torah. Marov Avoda, and they had to do a lot of work. Enslaved. He Yoshua Bagoyim. She lives amongst the Gentiles. Lo Motzo Manoach. She didn't find any peace. That's another name of Mashiach. Manoach. Peace, comfort, rest. He has a lot of names. Menachem, Manoach, Mashiach, Shiloh. There's a lot of names for Mashiach. All those who chased her reached her. Bein Hamatzorah, between the boundaries, between Shivos B'Tammuz and Tisha B'Av, the worst things happened. In those 3 weeks, they broke into the city. Shivos B'Tammuz, they had street fighting for 3 weeks. Then they came and destroyed the Beis Mikdash. Darchei Sion Avelus. The way of Sion is Avelus. Without any Yom Tov, you can't go to Yerushalayim on a Yom Tov. This is one of the 4 times it says the word Moed in Megillah. Lets you know that Tisha B'Av will be a Yom Tov, plus the other 3, it'll be 4 Yom Tovim. Pesach, Sukkot, Shavuos, and Tisha B'Av. So you can ask, what was Tisha B'Av in the second Beis Mikdash? It was a Yom Tov, because it was rebuilt. It was the Yom Tov in the second Beis Mikdash. It was rebuilt. Tisha B'Av was the Yom Tov in the second Beis Mikdash. Kol Shoreha Shomeimim, all its gates are destroyed. Kohaneho Ne'anochim, her Kohanim have been tortured. It means honorable people called Kohanim, Tamid Chachamim. Besula Seho, that means, Kohanim mi Kohanim. Besula Seho, her virgins, that means Tamid Chachamim. Honorable people. Gnugos have been abused. Vihi, Marlo, it's very bitter to her. To the Eretz Yisrael, no Beis Mikdash, no Kavanos, no Melech, no Novi. Held the Rosh. All her tormentors became big leaders. Nebuchadnezzar, Titus, Hitler. Oyeveho Sholu. Her enemies became very wealthy. Hashem Hogo. The God wants to punish you. Al Ro Peshoeho wants to punish her, Eretz Yisrael, Jews, because of her tremendous sin. Oleleho, her little babies, Holchu Shvi, became captives. You know why a human captive is called Shvi? Because they tell you, sit down, lay down. And Schwab, maybe we can return you, change you for one captive for another captive. Schwab, to return. Animal captive is called Malkoach. You have to hold it with Koach. I know one is a Kuf, one is a Chop, but you have to hold it with Koach, otherwise the animal runs away. And metaltal and gold and silver and tangibles, money and coins and silver bars, that's called Sholo, from the word Zolal, to absorb, to eat. Something you can hold, put in your pocket, is called Sholo, metaltalim. Malkoach is animals, you have to hold on to them. And Shvi is captives. It says last week, Pash. The Fnei Sor, you were a captive in front of your enemy. Yezim mi bas Sion, kol hadoreha. And it left Sion, all her beauty. Means the Ruach HaKodesh, the Beis Mikdash, the Kohen, the Nebuah, the Kavanos, everything's gone. Yezim min bas Sion, we read it mibas. From min bas, we read mibas. From 2 words we make it 1 word. Why? We read it like that, mibas. See, kol hadorah, all her beauty. We're not anymore the holiest city in the world. Oyishoreha, Soreha, her princes became kayolim, like the princes, the Tamid Chacham, the great people, became like a ram, has to run for his life. Lo Motzimira doesn't find any pasture. Every country you go to, they say, get out. The ayol, the wild ram, doesn't have any pasture. The Yelka below Koach, they go without any Koach. The Fnei Road, in front of the pursuer. Zochar Yushalayim Yimei Anya. Yushalayim remembers the days of its torture. Umerudeho, and its infliction. Kol machmudeho, all the desired and precious and beautiful lifestyle that you had in former years. When the nation fell down, the Yad saw into the hand of the torturer, the Ein Ozer, nobody helps her. Her tormentors looked at her. Sochaku al mishpateho. Sochaku, they laughed at you. They laughed at you. Sochaku. They were happy that you were captive. That you had no Chag and Chodesh and Shabbos. Socha, they laughed at your Mishpateho, your Shabbos, built in that word. Chet Choti Yushlaim, Yushlaim did a very bad sin. Chet Chota, the first bite and the second bite. You did a tremendous sin. And then the bad time in the Raglan, you did a tremendous sin. Al-Kain Lenida Hoiso, she's like a wanderer, a needer. Needer has to be away from the husband. You're like a wanderer. Kol Mechabdeho, all her people used to honor her. Izilua abandoned her. Kiro Ervose, they saw her nakedness, what she really is. When you take off a person's clothes, you see him or her. They saw the true nature of you, unfaithful. Gamhi Nanocha, she has a sigh. She sighs. Batar Shav Ochar, she goes backwards, she's so groaning, she collapses. Tuma Asa B'Shuleha, her tumah is on her skirt, on her jacket, as you can see it. Lo Zoka Achrito, she doesn't even know what's going to be her end. At Tevin Ploim, she went down many times. Ein Menachem Lo, there's no comforter. Yet, as Mashiach is going Menachem. Re'ei Hashem is on you, see my affliction, says Yirmiyahu. Ki Higdol Oyeh, the enemy is getting stronger. Yodo Poras, sorry. His hand, Porasi, spread out, saw the enemy. I'll call Machmadeh over all the precious things. They destroyed Yerushalayim and took everybody away in every house. Poras means soraf, burned up, same letters. And they burned it down to garbage. Peresh is garbage. Kirosa Goyim, because you saw Goyim Bo Ma'amikdash, Goyim coming into the base of Mikdash, where even the Jews not allowed to go, unless he's a Kohen. And the Goyim came in there. Ashid Ziviso, you commanded God, Lo Yavo B'Haloch, nobody can come in your holy building except the Kohen. And that's all, and only Kohanim. And the Kohen Gadol and the Kodesh Kedoshim once a year. And a Levi can only go in the outside yard. And Yisrael can't even go there. And here Goyim come into the base of Mikdash. Mishkan, well, base of Mikdash. Kol Amo Ne'anochem, the whole nation is tortured. B'vashim Lechem, they look for bread. Well, food. Nosna Machmadehem B'ochel, they give away the most precious possessions for a little food. Hoshit Nefesh, to restore their soul, they shouldn't die. Rei Hashem V'yadit Mito, look God and take a gaze at us. Ki Hoyso Zulal, Hoyisi Zoleila became forsaken. Oh, I don't want to continue, you have to read it yourself. This low level we were at, it's like a seesaw. When you go very low, you know one thing for sure. They're up now, right? But when we go up, they're down. That's Mashiach. 3/4 of mankind will be obliterated. Decent Goyim and decent Jews will live. The day will come. Cherab Hashem Moladam. The sword of God is filled with Bandam. And it says, Yom Bo, Omar Hashem, the day is coming. Boyer Katanu, burning like an oven. Smoking and flaming like an oven. We will, the bills will be paid. Don't worry. Rabbi said, I think we're finished. That's enough of this Megillah. If you look at the Sefer Eichah by Art Scroll, or Tisha B'Av by Art Scroll, you get the real picture of what went on in those years. Even though the Jews have been kicked around by all Goyim, by the way, we're the greatest nation on earth. Proof, other nations have been destroyed and never came back, like the Canaanites, the Babylonians, the Romans, the unholy Roman Empire. All those Amalekim, where are they? Where's the king, the India, where's the English government, where? Where is the German World Empire Third Reich? Lasted 5 years, that's it. Wow. We are still here from Avraham Avinu, who was born in 1948 after creation. That's 4,000 years. We're still here and we're on the front page every day. And we will be here forever. Therefore, the second of the three of us is called Yitzchak, firstborn Jew. His name is Yitzchak, to laugh. They laughed at us, but we'll have the last laugh. Rabbi, have an easy fast, a meaningful Tisha B'Av, and maybe this year is the year that is going to happen.